Ian Jackson committed to St. John's. Now, this wasn't necessarily a surprise for people because I think, look, when he picked North Carolina coming out of high school, it was between North Carolina and St. John's. And then he enters the portal and everybody says he's going to St. John's. Like, that was one of the worst kept secrets in college basketball. And then the process kind of played out. Like, we saw Denzel Aberdeen commit after 2 days, right? He went to the portal knowing where he wanted to go. Ian Jackson took probably, like, what is it, 2.5, maybe 3 weeks it's been that he's in the portal, and he finally committed today. And part of the reason he committed was he wants to, I guess he expects to play the point. Rick Pitino said that they got the new point guard there.
I don't think that's what it was. I think it was honestly now out of necessity. I don't think St. John's wanted him to play the point. I mean, they tried to get another guy who ended up in Gainesville. You know, they didn't want Ian Jackson. That was not their top option at the point. Was not Ian Jackson. It was Ian Jackson, you know, coming off the bench as a combo guard or maybe starting as a combo guard. But now, if you look around, there just aren't a lot of top point guard options. Mm-hmm. So they had a pretty good shot at Ian Jackson all the way along. And now you wonder if at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, if you're Ian Jackson, you're thinking like, my best shot at the next level is to be a scoring point. So now I have an opportunity to do that at St. John's. And as I said, I just don't know if this is the best case. Well, I know it's not the best case scenario for St. John's. Maybe if it is, if they win a national title next year. But to me, he's a scorer. We have seen him play enough. He is not a point guard who looks to distribute the basketball. Now, he's got arguably the best coach in America right now tutoring him on how to become a point guard. But I think it's going to take time. And I still think if I'm St. John's, I go get another point guard just to make sure. You better have a backup, a plan B on this one. And there's a couple mid-major point guards right now. There's one that's going to pop in the portal later today. There's also a kid named Dylan Darling at Idaho State that's available that could be in the mix for the Johnnies. I wouldn't throw all my eggs in that Ian Jackson point guard basket, Rob.
Even though Rick Pitino, I'm going to read a quote from him. We had big shoes to fill at the point. Kadari and Devin were awesome. The ball is now in the hands of our next great point. Let's go, Ian. Rick Pitino posted that on Twitter exactly 1 hour ago now. He did it at 12:47 p.m. Today, April 21st. So, yeah. You know, I'm scrolling through right now the best guards available according to 24/7 Sports top whatever ranking.
Point guards.
Yeah, Doug McDaniel pops. Nick Dorn, a kid from Elon, is in there. And once you get past that, man, like the pickings are slim. Like right. You're kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel at this point.
That's why Rob Wright went for $3 million. Mm-hmm. That is why the point guard position early was the one that everybody was thinking about overpaying for, because everybody looked at it and said how important it is, number one, and how few high level point guards there were. So I think, again, if I'm St. John's and Rick Pitino and I'm Johnny's fans, I'm excited because, man, my starting five is electric, right? I mean, it is. I mean, you look at these guys right now and you're thinking, all right, our front line is as good as, I know, maybe anybody in the country's, Rob, when you really look at it, right? You've got Bryce Hopkins at the 4 and Zuby at the 5. And Sellers and Sen are two guys who could shoot the ball from the wing. Ian Jackson can break dudes down. There's no doubt about that. He can go get his whenever he wants. But is he going to make life easier for any of these guys? He's going to have to learn to be able to do that.
Yeah, you know who's still available in the portal right now?
Go ahead.
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, well, not really a point guard.
Yeah, not really a point guard. Yeah. No, look, I think the Johnnies are going to be really good. The St. John's Johnnies, if you will. And if there is one guy in college basketball that I would trust to be able to find a way to make it work with a bunch of guards that are maybe shoot first, it's the guy that is coaching the St. John's.
It's not Dan Hurley?
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying it's Rick Pitino? You're saying Rick Pitino is the best coach in college basketball and not Dan Hurley?
No, what I'm saying is that when he took a team last year that could not shoot, that point blank period could not shoot. brought him to a 2 seed, won both Big East championships, and had him as a top 10 team. He took a flawed program and turned them into a top 10 team. And I think when you're looking at it this year, most likely, once again, it's probably going to end up being a fairly flawed roster in terms of the way that it's built, because you're not going to have a point guard.